Alright, I got that piece hung up here, and it's just roughly put into place, and I'm way off. I need to make sure I've got my front to back positioning right. I'm pretty good on my up to down because I've got it marked with this windowsill here. So we need to take this sheet and we'll measure from the lock seam to where the edge of the pane is, 45 7/8. So it looks like it was up there pretty straight. This one here, go right in line with that corrugation, 45 7/8. Alright, that's our measurement. We'll get that on the other side. Okay, our measurement was 45 7/8. That's from the lock seam, and we'll have the edge of that, 45, pretty close. Check the measurement. Right there, 45 7/8. Now that gives us to the, from that lock seam, that'd be the edge of the lock seam. So I need to know how much this, because I went right to the edge of the sheet, so I need to know how much that end sheet slid inside the lock seam. And it's right there. Okay, we'll call it a 1/4 inch. So I need to take a 1/4 inch off of that. So we'll be 45 5/8 to the edge of our sheet. .45 5/8 right there. Right on the line. Okay. So we can take this, loosen it up, slide that over to our mark. It's still lined up with the window. Take this one. Five 5/8. Okay. More. .45 5/8. Check it right here again. 45 5/8 right in there. Not very high here. Okay. And that is right on the seam there. Okay, squaring this out. When I took that siding off, it was right at the top of that window frame, and that's right on top of that stud, so that hasn't changed any. Okay. So that should be it. Alright, I'll let you come over here and look at this. Okay, there's our framing where it's got to be. Get you in here. And I think when you level that up, see, that's going to come right in on that line. So we're pretty good on our framing. Same thing right there. See, now I can build, go ahead and build a support right in between here and here, probably maybe 3" and that'll be where our framing goes. So got that turned out pretty good, and then I can just draw the lines on the other side, and I can use this same pattern on the other side of the trailer, because I can't use the metal over here because they routed it out. And if you look at the routing on this edge, comes up, comes up, comes up, bam, look how far off they were at a jump in there. So this would not be a good sheet to make a pattern off of. Alrighty, so that's where we're standing on getting that in. We'll get some framing material cut up, and then I'll get you back when we start putting things together. See you on the next video. Well, things have kind of changed a little bit. I went in to do the framing on the floor there, and it was rotten over on the corner, and I found out the plywood was rotten, but there's some of that Celotex stuff is all rotten out. That tire's been throwing water up in there, and there's all kinds of dirt. But I cut a little chunk out to see how thick it was. It's 3/8. So I've got to fix that Celotex before I can go up with any of the framing. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put 1/2" plywood down. There's not that much difference between 3/8 Celotex and 1/2" plywood, because 1/2" plywood really is a little smaller, 32nd smaller than 1/16. So I've got to get that done. I'll probably wind up pulling this sheet of plywood out. Goes over there to that wheel well. I'll take a Sawzall and just cut underneath that wall over there and slide it out and replace this, fix this whole end of the trailer. And then I'll fix this wall up, and that's kind of how I guess we'll do it. We just go around and pull the wall out and fix the paneling, because then I got to do this. Got to do the same thing all the way around. They've got some bad design here. You can see the angle iron there, and this here. Well, there's nothing under this. It's just fiberboard. You know, it's just all. So the only place you got any support for the wall is right here on the end. There's 1.5 inches, and it was setting on top of that Celotex, so the whole weight of the wall bouncing right here. So I need to put a cross member in right on top of this cross member instead of leaving it out here. I got the same situation up here. This here's just got this Celotex stuff, you know, and it's just crumbly. You just peel it up. But see, there's the brace right there, and there's the framing that goes under the floor. And so there again, the wall is setting right here on 1.5 inches, and so this whole side of the trailer, from the wheel well back, from right there and there, this whole corner has the kitchen, the stove, you know, everything. That's a lot of weight right out here. And then they bang these good and hard, these cross members. So yeah, that's what I got to do. Got to get this flooring taken care of before we can go up any farther on the walls. So I did save the framing though. I had my pattern on there, and I went ahead and just screwed that framing off to that. So all I've got to do is set that right down on the bottom there, and it should all be lined back up. So that's not a big problem there. But yeah, seems like the more I touch, the worse it gets. But yeah, you can, I don't know if you can pick it up in the camera, but right there where my jigsaw's set, and there's a huge hump in the floor. And I think you're finding the same thing on this side, is it's not going to be supported. So that's where we're at. Got to get some materials rounded up now so we can get this going, get some 1/2-inch plywood and probably some rigid insulation in between them. So it'll be nice. It'll be good when we get done. Alright, catch you on the next video.